Hey everybody, and welcome back to what is going to be the finale of my A through Z playthrough, where we are going to take a look at the hero in this game that requires two characters to play. Um, yeah, or two players to play a character that requires two players. Sorry if that sounded weird. Anyway, it is Cho'Gal, as you can see here, where I can be able to switch back and forth between playing either Cho or Gal. So, good thing he can't damage those forts. Sorry, yeah, but there's not much you can do. Alright, so anyway, I thought we would take a look at how Cho'Gal is currently. He was a character that was kind of a weird niche pick in certain situations, especially in Team League. Only, like, if you want to do something on a certain... he's not chosen very often. The idea of two players having to pick this character is not looked very favorably in the game and in the community. He does pop up sometimes, believe it or not. Sometimes I've seen him in pro play, and it's amazing to see what happens. But basically, Cho is the warrior, and if you play as Cho, you control the movement and the legs. You're basically the tank, and you're a very tanky character, whereas Gal is the spellcaster, and he does the damage. You don't control the movement, but you can help out Cho with some of those things. Cho has Surging Fist, which you're channeling a big punch, as you can see here. You can change the direction and such, and then boom, be able to charge like that. His W, Consuming Blaze, boom, ignite nearby enemies, dealing damage over 5 seconds, and it reignites. Then Cho is healed, so it's a way for him to sustain. And then Rude Bomb, where you toss this out, and then Gal can be able to blow it up. So there's got to be some kind of communication and synergy between both players to get that to work properly. And then his new trait, Ogre Hide, activates to gain 25 armor, but Gal's damage is reduced by 25. Gal can then activate Ogre Rage to grant himself 25% increased damage, but remove this armor bonus. So, let me see here. Oh, like that's doing very well. Let's see. Heals for more when a hero is ignited. For every minion killed near Cho, increases the healing by Consuming Blaze by 0.3%. Every hero takedown increases the amount healed by Consuming Blaze by 3%. Ogre Hide also increases the healing received from teammates by 15%. So if I was in an actual game, I would probably... Well, it may depend on the map, but sometimes if you're, like, having Cho be, like, the solo laner, possibly, which is weird to say, I guess. Fuel for the Flame. Surging Fist deals additional damage to heroes equal to 7% of their max health, so it's percent damage. Rollback. Rune Bomb rolls back, damaging enemies in its path. Seared Flesh. Each consecutive basic attack to an enemy deals 20% more damage to a maximum 60% damage. This bonus lasts 5 seconds or until a different enemy is attacked. So it could... I think rollback, because there's a talent for Gal. We'll go over that in a bit once I switch to Gal. Power Surge. Each hero hit by Surging Fist reduces the cooldown by 4 seconds. Fire Starter. Basic attacks against ignited heroes decreases the cooldown to Consuming Blaze by 1 second. And you also reduce the cooldown of Consuming Blaze by 3 seconds, which is on a 12-second cooldown, so it would be 9 seconds. While Gal's Ogre Rage is active, Cho's health regen is increased by 200%. Let's take a look at what that is. So he does 313 basic attack damage, 0.91 attacks per second, 2.0 basic attack range, spell power modification, movement speed, physical armor, spell armor. He has a 14.74 health regen per second, and right now has over 7,100 health, and that is at level 20. Now that's interesting because I think you can get Stitches to have 8,500, like over 8,000 health if you take his health regen globe quest, Hungry for More. So that's interesting. But anyway, I like the idea of increasing his health regen, which then goes up to... Oh, wait, hold on. I have this active, so we can't look at it just yet. And then we have two different cool ults here for Cho. We have Hammer of Twilight. Activate to swing the Hammer of Twilight, dealing damage, pushing enemies away, and stunning them for 0.05 seconds on a 15-second cooldown. Upheaval. After 1 second, pull enemies towards Cho'Gal, slowing them for 3 seconds and dealing damage. So if you pick up Hammer for Twilight, he then gets a hammer that he can be able to use to hit enemies with. So that's a cool little visual that they added here for that ult. Gain 75% attack speed 5 seconds after using Surging Fist. Gal's Runic Blast reduces Cho's Rune Bomb cooldown by 1 second per enemy hero hit and 2 seconds for each hero hit. Runed Gauntlet basic attacks reduce the cooldown of Cho and Gal's heroic abilities. Yes. Now, Surging Dash has actually received a change very recently. It used to be that while you were channeling Surging Fist, you would be unstoppable. Yeah, you would be unstoppable. You would have the unstoppable status, is what I mean. Now it just heals him. Not as strong, really, when you think about it. Which means Molten Block is probably back to being the choice here that you would take to give yourself that stasis, in certain situations. And then we have Cthulhu's Gift. Basic attack becomes range and slows. Not really that great. The Old Gods upheaval roots enemy heroes for 1/2 seconds. The Will of Cho. Takedowns permanently increase the armor granted by Ogre High by 2 to max of 50 extra armor. Hour of Twilight decreases their death timer by 50%. I think that is a phenomenal choice. So now, let's complete the quest we picked up. So that is now a 5% bonus. So as you can see here, for each of those, we're increasing the damage. I love that Gal is putting out the Eye of Kilrog. I'll go over that in a moment. It's going to be a little weird when I switch to Gal, because since I don't control the movement speed, the AI will start to control Cho's movement speed, like, heavily. So it's going to look a little crazy when that happens. But I like the arc there. Alright. So that's kind of how it works. Oh, okay. So he switched the trait. So what's our health regen now? 44 per second. Alright, so that's where that level 7 talent comes into play now. So now that that's activated, we have 44 health regen per second. That's pretty good. Alright, so that's how Gal, or not, I always get mixed up. That's how Cho works. Let's switch to Gal.
Choose a talent.
Alright, so, let's see here. So, Gal's abilities, we have the Eye of Kilrog, which I can place an eye, granting vision of an area. Great scouting tool. Shadow Flame, on a 3-second cooldown, do this to deal enemies to damage in an area. A Dread Orb, throw a bomb that will bounce 3 times, dealing damage to enemies. And it bounces like that. Boing, boing, boing. We have Runic Blast, so when he throws out the bomb, I can be able to detonate it. And Ogre Rage. Activate to increase Gal's damage by 25%, but reduce Cho's armor by 25. Gal is permanently immune to stun and silence effects. So, yeah, so Cho is able to be stunned and silenced, but Gal is not. So even if Cho gets hit with a silence or crowd control, Gal is completely immune to that. So, let's see. His level 1 talents. Keep moving. Oh, by the way, he may not be able to control the movement or mount up, but he has this Z ability called Shove on a 30-second cooldown. Nudge Cho a small distance and grant him 25% movement speed for 2 seconds. So you can increase the duration of Shove's movement speed by 1 second. Cho's basic attacks against heroes decrease the duration of an active shove by 1 second. So let's see. I can do this, or I can be able to move him that way. So that's how that works. Taskmaster reduces the cooldown shove by 10 seconds every time Cho is hit by a hero basic attack. Reduce the cooldown by 1 second. We see you. Eye of Kilrog's cooldown is decreased by 15 seconds and its range is increased. I love that. Just that. Look at that. Oh, look at that range. That's a and a 15-second cooldown. That's incredible. Or no, I'm sorry, 45-second cooldown. So now it's decreased to 30. All right, so double back, activate Dread Orb before the second bounce, and to reverse the direction. Nah, no one ever really takes that. Runic Persistence. Runic Blast deals an additional 395%, 95 damage, not 395%, my goodness. Over 3 seconds. Look, I've been recording videos all day. I'm a little trying to wrap this up. A little tired. Detonation point. Bombs away. Here's the quest I was talking about. Damaging a hero with a Runic Blast increases its damage by 5. After damaging 20 heroes, the range and speed of Cho's Rune Bomb is increased by 20%. So we'll go with that. Level 7, Edge of Madness. Every subsequent hit by Shadow Flame against the same enemy hero deals an additional 8% damage to a maximum of 40%. These bonuses are lost if the hero has not been hit for 4 seconds. Double Trouble. If Shadow Flame hits an enemy hero that is afflicted by Cho's Consuming Blaze, its cooldown is reduced by 1 second. After hitting 20 heroes, Shadow Flame's cooldown is instead permanently reduced by 1 second. Ogre Rampage. Gaul's basic abilities cool down faster for 5 seconds after Cho activates Ogre Hide. And then we have a couple pretty good ults for Cho. We have Shadow Bolt Volley. After 1 second, unleash 20 Shadow Bolts over 4 seconds, dealing damage to the first target hit. The bolt fires towards your mouse. Twisting Nether. After 1 second, nearby enemy heroes are slowed by 50% while Gaul channels up to 5 seconds. So let's go ahead and try that out. Go ahead and see what that does after I fully channel it. Boom! Alright, so then we have Searing Shadows. Enemies hit by Shadow Flame take an additional 2% of their maximum health as damage. Each bounce increases its radius and damage. After the first bounce of Dread Orb, 2 extra bombs. No, Searing Shadows. Shadow Flame slows heroes. Dread Orb stuns heroes. Runic Blast silences enemy heroes. So yeah, for 1.25 seconds. Go with that. Level 20. Pierces all enemies in its path. Teleport and cast Twisting Nether to a targeted location before it begins channeling. Takedowns permanently increase the bonus of Ogre Rage by 2%. And Psychotic Break. Upon dying, Gaul gains Ogre Rage and can use abilities for 10 seconds. Maybe I'll get a chance to show that to you guys, how that works. Alright, so if I get us trapped inside again. Pandemonium. Love the interactions between Cho and Gaul. Really funny. Where is he going? Hey, where are you going? Go back that way. Do as I say. Let me use my abilities. Come on, Cho. Get in there and get trapped so I can show them the Psychotic Break talent. Come on. Get in there. What are you doing? Hey. Hey. What are you doing? What are you doing? See what I mean? The AI is just doing... It doesn't know what to do. It doesn't know what to do. What is he doing? May as well do that. Alright, now I'll show it to you guys. Finally. So this is what happens with that talent of 20. So I then stay there, I can keep... Oh, but of course in try mode, it's like, nope. No, you don't get to do that. Alright, so I hope you guys can kind of get the general idea of Cho'Gal. He's not a very popular pick because obviously of his complication that comes across with trying to play him. That's why I haven't gotten much XP on playing him because, well, not a lot of people want to play as Cho'Gal. It's only in very extreme circumstance situations that sometimes people joke about it or tease it, but very rarely will you ever see people utilize Cho'Gal. I do love this whole him carrying the horse thing. I just find that so funny. But yeah, that's Cho'Gal. He's in a very weird spot. Sometimes he'll show up. Sometimes he'll be good. Sometimes it just won't work out. It's always kind of a weird, possibly a coin flip thing with Cho'Gal. You never really know. So that is Cho'Gal, and that does it, guys. That is it for my A through Z playthrough. It took a long time for me to finish. I know that there were some problems, some issues. There were some videos in this that I feel kind of ashamed and embarrassed about, like the ETC video or the Jaina video, where I sometimes got very salty or toxic, and I apologize for that. It's something I'm trying to work on, which is part of the reason why I've been playing more AI games lately than Hero League or Quick Match, just because, unfortunately, I've been encountering a lot of players that have just been really making me very frustrated, and it's part of the reason why I don't really play that many multiplayer games that involve playing with other people or against other people. It's something that I just can't seem to handle very well. And I almost feel like I want to do some redemption vids on some of those certain characters like ETC or Jaina, just to kind of have another chance to try and show those characters that I do like and want to play better. And I feel like I had a very negative experience, but also caused a negative experience in those videos, which probably made it more unpleasant to watch. The Greymane video is another one that comes to mind because of that Tyrande player. There's always something in some of those games that would just kind of tick me the wrong way. So if you possibly see another video, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do it yet, but if you see it, that's probably the reason why. It may be titled like A through Z, ETC, Redemption, or something like that. I don't know. But I just feel like I should do that just to kind of help not only redeem myself, but to also make it a more enjoyable watching and viewing experience for you. Especially those, such as there was someone who commented on that Greymane video about how they couldn't enjoy the video as much because of how I got salty or toxic, and I apologized for that, and I still apologize for that. So that's one of the reasons why I would want to try and possibly redeem myself on some of those videos with the format I'm doing now with the AI games, because I feel like I'm able to enjoy myself, play better, focus better on the character and their history when I am dealing with AI as opposed to when I'm dealing with other players. So this was my first time trying to do a playthrough like this. It could end up being the only time I ever do it. It could return in the future. I honestly don't know. Would love to. I'm sure some would rather not see more from me on this because of one of my favorite YouTubers, Pallytime, doing his own pretty much every year. If you prefer to watch his instead of mine, that's completely fine. I'm okay with that. When I started this series, it was to celebrate the new computer that I'm currently playing this on, this one here, because the old one I used to do, if you see some of my older videos, it was not good, and it didn't make the game look any good. Whereas when I got this new one, I want to do something special to celebrate. So that's why I decided to do this series, and it ended up kind of becoming something that drew some negative attention, and I didn't want that at all. So who knows what's gonna? I honestly don't know yet. I haven't decided on that or thought about it fully, but it was certainly an interesting experience for me, and I hope for you, for where I'm just giving my own personal thoughts and history with some of these characters. So who knows where we're gonna go from here? I will see you guys. I will continue to do videos when they come out. So like next week when Mephisto comes out, you'll see a video on that. Just to give you an idea of when I'm recording this. So yeah, I'll still be doing content. Whether or not I do any kind of A through Z content in the future, well, we'll have to wait and see. So I will see you guys next time.